Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. How do I do it? Now I have this tip, so you can make some bows for your mini Christmas gifts by recycling the bags they give us from our purchases, or with paper, either newspaper, paper that we have left over to wrap, or even the brochures that they always give us at the traffic lights or squares where we go. Let's see what we are going to need. We are going to need some scissors, preferably large ones, so that it is easier to cut the length of the paper or plastic, the silicone gun to glue this one, adhesive tape both to glue the finished bows or to assemble them as well, a ruler in case you want to measure them very exactly, and they fit even better, and last but most important, our bags that they gave us when we did our shopping, newspaper or some that we have left over from what we used to wrap our gifts. It does not matter which one it is, just that it is enough for us to make the strips of the size that is needed. Without further ado, let's see how to make them. We take one of our bags and the first thing we do is cut it on one side and the bottom so we can open it, and thus cut it across the width of the bag, and it will cost us less work. We are going to need 4 strips 2 centimeters wide by 20 centimeters long, and another 4 strips 2 centimeters wide by 15 centimeters long, and finally a piece 2 centimeters wide by 5 long. Anyway, I leave the measurements here below in the description, so you can check them. We start cutting the strips, and don't worry if you don't cut them perfectly straight. This won't matter as we put together the bow. In this case, in this bag, I am guided by the letters, but it still doesn't turn out perfect. But I repeat, don't worry because once it is put together you won't notice much of a difference. Since we have our strips cut the size I told you, we take the largest ones and begin to fold all of them in half. Since we finished folding the large ones, we do exactly the same with the smaller ones until we have them all folded, but without including the smallest strip. We leave this one as it is. Since we finish folding them, we proceed to initially glue the smallest piece and make a kind of ring around our finger so that this is the central part of our bow. Be very careful when gluing it since the silicone is very hot and can burn you. Since we did this, we start gluing the corners to the center of each strip so that it looks more or less like a figure 8 or a tie, whichever is easier for you to understand, as you can see in the video. Remember to be very careful when doing it because, as I mentioned before, the silicone is very hot. So just put a drop, and it has to be more or less as I show you on the screen. Remember that it does not have to be exact since this will be lost when assembling the entire bow. So do not worry if it is not completely straight or even. We do the same with all the strips, both large and small, and since we have them all in the shape of a tie or figure 8, we begin assembling the bow. We take one of the large strip ties and put a little dot of silicone in the middle of it, and stick another of the large ones making a cross. Once glued, we put another drop of silicone on this same one, and stick another of the strips across again until the last of the large ones is glued. We do exactly the same with the medium strips until they are all glued. Here we will see the shape that the bow begins to take, and as you can see, although not all the strips are cut exactly or evenly, you really can't tell the difference since they are interspersed with each one of them. Now that all the strips are perfectly glued, we put another drop of silicone in the middle and up to the top, and we stick the little piece that looked like a ring so that it remains as the central part of our bow. Since we finished, it should look something like this, and as you can see, it looks very good and very original, since depending on the bag you have or are given, they can be very cool colors, and it will even look like you bought those bows in a store or had them wrapped in a specialized place. Below I will show you how it looks with other types of bags and also with paper. As you can see here, I already have everything glued and I'm just starting to put it together. As I explained to you previously, I just want you to see that it is exactly the same, only with a different bag, and it also looks very good, since in this case, it is totally golden just like the bow that was at the beginning of the video. With the difference that this one, because of the letters on the bag, has some fuchsia tones that look very good. You can also do this with paper, whether it be leftover wrapping paper from a gift, newspaper, or in this case a brochure that I got from a phone company, and as you can see, it's done the same way. The only difference you'll notice with the paper is that it'll be more voluminous, but I personally like it better with plastic bags because it gives them a special shine. But as I always tell you, I'll leave it up to you, and I know you'll do it much better. As you can see, with plastic or paper bags you can make bows that look great, and as I always tell you, this is just advice, but you can do it much better, and you can make it even bigger. You'll just have to add about 5 centimeters to the largest strips, so that instead of just putting 2 layers you can put 3, 4, or as many as you think might fit. And the best thing about all this is that you're recycling something that we were going to throw away anyway. So do it with your children, and show your friends and family that without spending almost anything you can make some really cool bows by recycling bags and paper that you have on hand. This way we do our bit, so that so much paper and plastic is not wasted. Now all that's left is to put them in a box for our gifts. In this case, I'm taking the box that I used in another project, so with some of these bows they'll look great. Here I'm taking the white one with the letters so that it stands out. You can put it on whatever you want, be it a bottle, a CD, a movie, and it will look perfect. As you know, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with all your family, friends, and acquaintances, like the Facebook page and check out the other videos, because I assure you that some of them will be very useful to you. Thank you for watching, and I hope this advice has been useful to you. From the channel How Do I Do It? We wish you a happy holiday season and all the best for this new year. As always, we'll see you in the next videos. Thank you.